Hi, this is Lisa Burns, and my next set of videos will be focused on 5-minute teacher tips to prevent year-long behaviors or problems. I will be focusing on positive teaching of strategies and tips instead of bouncing on negative behaviors that really don't do any good. So the first student I'm going to talk about is a type of student that we all have. So this is titled the loser. So hold up, don't hate. I love all of my students. Yes, I am a teacher, so how could I call a kid a loser? Well, I'm not. I want it to sound harsh because sometimes our response to this type of student is very harsh. So I wanted to get your attention, and I actually want you to be offended because sometimes our behavior towards certain students who are already dealing with so much can be a little bit harsh. So I'm not using this word as a noun of who the student is, but more of a verb of what the student does. We all have at least one student, sometimes multiple, who lose everything. So, something I want to talk about is our brain, which is an absolutely amazing thing. Well, one of the things that our brain is very good at doing is going into survival mode. So what happens is when we are dealing with some kind of trauma or a situation, our brain puts to sleep operations that are unnecessary to our safety so that we can make quick decisions. Well, I work with lots of kids of trauma. So they live in survival mode. So what was meant for something temporary to help you make quick decisions and then get through it and then move on, well, our students live in that mode of survival. So they're focused on when they're going to get to eat, what they're going to get to eat, are they safe, where are they going to go home to, are their siblings safe. So when they come to school, if they're then getting in trouble for losing their pencil or losing their books or losing their paper or not having their homework, when we fuss at them and lecture them about responsibility, we are no more than another voice making them feel inadequate. And in my opinion, it is unfair and unkind to lecture a student about responsibility until we have actually taught them tips and strategies to become more responsible. We need to reassure them that they're in a safe place, that this place that we call a classroom is where they can feel safe. Sometimes we're going to need to feed those students because they haven't eaten. So how can they focus on learning when their basic needs have not been met? Sometimes a simple hug, a smile, letting them know that you're glad that they are here and that you can hold their worries for them. I have something called the worry box that does that. Any of those things to reassure them that they are safe and they are loved, and helping them get into learning mode. There will not be a resolution until we have taught a solution. So teaching these kids how to be responsible, how to keep up with their stuff, getting into learning mode instead of survival mode. So here are a few tips that I use that work very well for me, and I hope it works well for you too. Velcro, a teacher's best friend. So you can buy Velcro in squares or circles. So one thing I like to do is take a pencil, and tape down a piece of Velcro onto the student's desk, tie a string, and put another piece of the Velcro onto the pencil, and then they can keep it there. The string gives it another level of security so that they don't lose it. Now, when a student is able to keep up with a pencil and is really good at doing this, you can remove the strings for an added level of responsibility. Or another option is using one of these command loops and hooks used for cords, and then you put it on one side, and this can be the traveling pencil. Again, it's attached to a string, and then they can just slip it in and out. All right, so as far as keeping up with their work or having missing work, I use something called the WIP folder. And I like to use a very bright color so they can find it easily. So this is work in progress. So on one side, they have all of the work that they need to do. And then on the other side, when they're finished, it's nay-nay with a nay-nay, so wave to your work goodbye. So on the other side, when they finish this work, they would put it on this side, and at a designated time, or when they can roam about independently, they can turn all of this work in. On the back of it is a goal chart. So some kids need an added level of accountability. You can initiate an accountability friend who checks on them in case you don't have time, and that helps with just time management, or you can do it yourself. So on the goals, it says, I will keep track of my pencil, I will keep track of my folders, I will keep track of whip work, and then they can put smiley faces, or you can put smiley faces if they meet that goal. And you can put another symbol, maybe a frowny face, or an indifferent smiley face, to let them know that they still have some work to do on that. This will help them to self-monitor and see how well they are improving. You can also have incentives, so when they do a good job and they earn so many, they get another pencil or some more school supplies or whatever you would have them get. All right, so if they have a designated whiteboard, same thing. You can have their dry erase marker taped to the back or use Velcro. If they have a clipboard, same thing. If they have a traveling pencil, you would have a piece of Velcro and they could take the traveling pencil with them. If they don't have a traveling pencil, then again, you would utilize the string, tape it to the back, and use the Velcro on here. And to keep all of their stuff in their desk organized and together so they're not always losing that, I like to use a magazine holder or book box, whatever you call this. And they keep all of their stuff in it, and then they put it on one side of their desk, and then I tell them specifically what to keep on each side of the desk so that it is always in the same place. We call it its home, so that they will always be able to find it, and we're building habits. Now, when they make a mistake, try really hard not to fuss at them and not to lecture them, but to merely remind them of their goals and to, teach them that breaking a bad habit and building new ones, it's very difficult. It takes time, but you believe that they're capable of doing that. All right, so I hope this was helpful. Like, share, tag another teacher if you like this information and you'd like to share it out. And thank you so much for the profession you are in. I know it is difficult, but it is very rewarding. And the most important thing I would like to send you off in this video with is go teach love. All right, have an awesome day.